Podcast. My name is Pete. I got Vince and Brandon with me as always. How you guys doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Doing really good.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is a pre-recorded podcast. You've probably seen our lives, I hope. If not, go check them out. They're on YouTube as well. But we got a new format here today, going with the podcast, and we're going to be talking about some Homey news today. We are going to be sharing what we would do if we had to build a new smart home from scratch with only $500. And then I got a little fast five quick questions at the end. Just kind of fun. Let you know a little bit about us and our thoughts on some smart home stuff and things outside the smart home world. So let's hit up the news first. And this is big news in the smart home world, especially for Homey Pro users. It was announced yesterday, 2 days ago, probably 5 days ago when you see this, that LG has purchased Athom, which is the owner of Homey Pro and the Homey products. So kind of a big shakeup in that respect. And this has happened obviously to SmartThings was purchased by Samsung several years ago. So it could mean big changes for Athom for Homey Pro. So I was curious to what you guys
think it's going to be good or bad though?
Well, that's the question. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be good or is this going to be bad overall for you? Obviously it's good for the owners of Homey Pro. They made some nice change out of the deal. They did say that the founders are staying for they're signed for at least 3 years. See what happens after that. They say they're still very committed to the product and everything they said they've been working on. The team is staying, they've said. So in the short term, that sounds like a good thing for Homey Pro users. But as we all know, when a big corporate company buys something, they like to have their way with it at times. So
called synergies and economies of scale.
Right. Right. So what do you think?
Private equity comes in and buys the company, then it's really about cost cutting.
I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, I think especially for us in the US, the expansion, I think they're going to expand on they're going to try to compete with SmartThings. So I think they're going to expand on product selection, compatibility, probably at a faster rate than they probably would on their own. Got a little more resources to back it up, So we'll see what happens. But
from the LG perspective, I think it's a big win. It'll certainly help the thin Q line or whatever. I know they've been kind of struggling there compared to Samsung and SmartThings. But
by the way, I think it's supposed to be thin. I hope it's not thin Q. I know it's spelled thin Q, but I hope they're supposed to say it as
whatever.
Think.
I don't know. I only read it. I know
it's a stupid name, so hopefully they change that. I totally agree with you on that.
Maybe they'll just go straight with the Homey Pro name. Maybe.
Sounds doubtful.
Also, Homey is
Will
also
they keep
a stupid
making
name.
the hub though? That's the question.
Right, is also a stupid name. Yeah,
it is. Now, okay. I am a Homey Pro user. I love the Homey Pro, especially the advanced flows. I think it's the best automation engine out there. Obviously, there's more robust things, but it's still pretty robust, and it just makes sense. It's super easy to use. So I'm really hoping that they stick with that. The founders, if you watch any of their videos, their podcasts, it's their baby, right? That's really what they're most proud of is these advanced flows. So hopefully they're going to continue with that. But as you know, the corporate, they have their own ideas, right? I'm sure that they're looking for the engine behind it. They're trying to get, it sounds like they're looking for some data. They say they're going to keep the privacy. They're not going to get specific user data, but they're trying to see more how people are using the home. Vince, to what you were saying as far as adding compatibility and things like that, I hope that is true. I hope they do. LG will invest money so that they can add more compatibility with other devices. But on the other hand, if it's owned by LG, will other companies, since it's no longer a private small company, will they be as willing to share whatever information is necessary to be compatible with LG, right? Does Samsung want to be compatible with LG's Homey
guys,
Pro
they're
hub?
all going to this Matter standard, right?
Right. Yes, Matter's worked out well for everybody.
it's exactly why they bought Homey.
Yeah. So
it would be interesting to know the actual motivation behind LG. Like, are they buying it because they want the engine? Do they want a certain aspect of it? Do they intend on keeping the product line going? will they run it as a separate company and kind of
right. So right now, what they've said so far is yes, they plan to keep the product line going. They're going to keep it essentially as a separate company, but we all know that isn't always the case. They can say whatever they want to say.
The article I read was that they own 70 or 80% right now, and then will purchase the remaining 20-30% within the 3 years.
Yep, it's 80% now and 20%, the extra 20% after 3 years.
The founders are on a buyout plan. That's all. That's hence the 3 years.
Exactly.
It's pretty typical.
Yep.
I don't know. I just have flashbacks. I've worked with a lot of real estate tech companies, and some of my favorite companies got bought by big brands, and they always just like run it to the ground. The sense of community is gone. It becomes so corporate, and then eventually they just bastardize the product, and it gets end of life. I've seen companies get acquired for tens of millions of dollars, and 3 years later, the product doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah,
it's very sad. So hopefully that isn't the case.
So if you look at the forums, the Homey Pro forums, that is 90% of the people are concerned that that's exactly what's going to happen. And they do have a pretty good community as far as developing apps for it, so you can get compatibility for devices that are not officially compatible with your Homey Pro. And some of those developers are saying they're done developing. Some are actually pulling their apps right now because they don't want to be a part of this. And the thing about it is so they were willing, a lot of the community apps, they're done for free, right? These are developers that are putting in a ton of hours. They're working hard and they're developing these apps for free because they, believed in a product. Are they going to be willing to keep working for free when it's owned by a multi-billion-dollar company, right?
If not, there's going to be another developer that comes along that is, or the next platform will come out and they'll all go there. So
very much like SmartThings in the sense that, SmartThings was an open, not necessarily open source, but you could develop, apps or workarounds. And then when they went away with, that just went away just this last year where you can't develop your own, plugins with SmartThings. So it's potential the same kind of concept. I don't know. We should just get him on the show and then we can interview LG and ask them all the tough questions.
Oh, yeah. I'll talk to Mr. LG. And
I actually have a contact there. It's funny you should mention that. But if all these developers that are getting out of Homey could just go make stuff for the Apple Vision Pro, I really would appreciate that, because since launch, there's been all of 3 new things, and now I'm running out of stuff to do on it.
Maybe they'll just come over to Home Assistant and help more over there.
Well, okay, yeah. When I was looking in the forums,
that's probably at least in the same avenue. I'm just over here wishing my Vision Pro did something cool. No buyer's remorse whatsoever.
Just some creepy avatar.
Creepy avatar
that looks like a serial killer. Brandon
that yesterday because my wife is hanging out with her, so I did a FaceTime call and she was like, "Oh my God, it's Grandpa Brandon back from the dead." She's like, "Please stop immediately. This is too creepy."
So of course you continued.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
I had been drinking too, so it made it more fun.
I wonder with LG if that'll help with their product selection. They'll expand it, kind of with like Samsung did, because they've moved into kind of more tech things built in, their hub, on the refrigerator or other things as well. That's more built-in tech, to kind of expand their own selection even under their own brand. But
hopefully they build it into the refrigerator and the TVs, because those are the 2 places you would want to interact with your home or maybe get insights. But what they're probably going to do is put it in your washer and your dryer and just start harvesting as much data as possible.
Yeah, they did say that they're very interested in electrical or energy management as part of the acquisition and stuff. So, yeah, they're definitely going to be putting it in whatever they can.
Energy management is such an interesting field, and a lot more players in that space now. Savant's gotten into energy management. I think that's going to be the future, honestly, as energy costs keep going up and we see more electrification, more people driving EVs, and we'll see. But this is 10, 15 years probably.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll just get rid of the hub altogether, make someone else make the hardware for them.
Just like Samsung did.
I think we're going to be in a hubless future. Like we
It's
had
gonna
this
be built
conversation
in.
on our last live, but I think the future is no hubs. The bridges, the gateways, the hubs, whatever you want to call them, they're all going to be built into our appliances, mainly our TVs, right? Because it's something that everyone has, and then controlled that way. And it makes sense. Like you're sitting at your TV, like in your living room, you're looking at your TV. You might want to control some different devices. I know, Vince, you're able to do that right now with SmartThings in your living room. That's pretty slick.
I have it built into the refrigerator, so the home hub. But again, that's still far away because like the home hub that's built into the refrigerator, it's only Matter compatible, so it has no other radios in it besides the Wi-Fi.
Again, Matter is the future, guys. We just need to embrace this new reality. If you're not watching on video right now, I was shaking my head. That was what we call sarcasm.
We're going to move on to our fun topic here today. And we're going to do a series of this about building a smart home with a certain budget. And we're going to start with a pretty low budget today. So we've all gone and researched and decide what we would do if we had a $500 budget to start from scratch building a smart home. So it was kind of a tough challenge, right? Did you guys? I mean, you had to make tough decisions here.
Yeah.
With $500,
a lot of garbage for $500.
I think you can build a smart home for $500 really easily by using really shitty products, but you're not going to be happy. And so sacrifices were made in certain categories in order to build something that I think is of quality and can be built upon further as budget allows.
So
with some insight into Brandon's list.
we didn't put any qualifications on this as far as the types of devices we had to include. It was kind of up to us as what matters to us in a smart home as to how we built it out. We do assume that everyone has Wi-Fi in their house. We don't have to buy a router or anything like that. We all got smartphones, but other than that, we're starting from scratch. So $500 budget. Vince, what do you got for us? What are you putting in your house for $500?
I cheated and I made two lists based on
cheated right off the right off the bat. You're gonna cheat.
Well, hold on. Just made two lists based on the type of $500 you're spending, like whether you're spending $500
American
right
500.
No, like 500 right now, and then you're gonna pay or buy more later, or like 500 is the absolute most that you are going to spend. I don't care, whatever. I'm never going to spend another dollar more on it.
Gotcha.
So, I appreciate that. That's smart. You got to be thinking like ahead or like this is it. Yeah.
So I'm going to go with my one first. If I'm going to build on top of this, and I just had $500 that I don't know, I want to scratch off and had $500 and I want to start the beginning of my smart home. Is I literally bought a SmartThings hub for $130, and I bought 10 on-off switches. Really easy Zeus Z-Wave on-off switches. That's basically $500 right there. Good quality. It's Z-Wave. The hub is something you can build off of. Very easy to go with. Now, for my list of $500, I'm not spending a dime more. Go ahead.
You prioritize lighting, but you chose like a hub that's interesting.
For Z-Wave hub, I feel like from like an entry level standpoint, for $500, like if that's where you're gonna start, I feel like it's. I mean, I still use my SmartThings hub. I have some complaints, but not. I mean, I still have. I use SmartThings hub, but I also have Home Assistant. I could run all of my Z-Wave products straight through Home Assistant, but I choose not to for reliability. And
why not like Hubitat? Was Hubitat within your budget, or
so Hubitat and
guy?
I would say Hubitat and SmartThings they're both interchangeable. So like probably on that $500 list, if you prefer Hubitat, you probably could do that as well. I just think that like if you're $500 and you're starting out, SmartThings is probably a little easier to work with if you're not used to different automations or flows or doing automations or setting devices up. I think it's going to be a little easier.
So my question is
interchangeable.
Is if you just got switches, what are you automating them with? if you have no sensors or anything with that. So you're just using it with the
That's why I was
app?
just saying, like, if you're, well, you can automate times a day.
Yeah.
And from the phone, you could control it that way.
I just think like the number one device, or even when I went through and bought stuff, like the switches was like the most important thing or the easiest thing to automate, and then also to control as like kind of a first step into the smart home.
Okay.
So that was like, if you're building, that's where I'd go.
Gotcha.
If like you have $500, go ahead, Brandon.
Oh, in your thought experiment here, did you look at like what the cost difference was between Lutron, like the Caseta with the bridge, and then some switches versus going with the SmartThings and Zoos?
Yeah, I mean, so Lutron has got, was it 100 or $50, $75 for the hub, and then you have
like $60, $70
like what, $50 a switch, 60,
something
60,
like that.
70, yeah.
So you're getting more switches with your setup, is what was the rationale, and then because
Zeus
you can build it out further, you're going to use that hub in your future build. Okay, that makes sense.
So like they're like between $30 and $35 to switch, depending on if you want on-off or dimmers or whatever you're looking at. So, and it's also a good launch point for the smart switches. Like if you're wanting smart bulbs down the line, they have like the smart bulb setting where the power is always on, but you use them as buttons. I know Lutron has that as well. So I think that just comes down to personal preference.
Nice.
But I would venture to say that Z-Wave switches are as reliable as Lutron switches in connection.
They're good. But Lutron's so bad.
I mean, I agree. If you get a good quality switch from like Innovelli or Zeus or something, I think they're...
So how hard is setup on the Lutron versus...
setup is pretty straightforward.
So the setup was probably a little bit easier than Z-Wave.
Like, it can be, depending on what you're connecting it to after that, it can get a little bit wonky. But setting it up directly with the Lutron app is...
With Z-Wave, it's the exclusion that's the problem. The initial setup, I mean, as long as you've got a modern hub that's got decent range, you install your switch, it usually just connects right away. And then as you build the network out, you obviously don't want to start with the furthest switch away from the hub. Then you might have a problem. But if you just work your way out, I think for most people, in most situations, Z-Wave is still pretty approachable.
And then for my list of things, like if this is the last $500 you were going to spend ever on smart home stuff, so I got a smart lock, a Eufy, the C210 lock for your front door. That comes in at $100. I also have a Ring wired doorbell. They have one that they came out with last year for $50. So easy entry.
Requires a subscription though.
That too. So that one doesn't have a chime. It doesn't work with your existing chime is the problem.
It does not work with your existing chime?
Correct. You have to use it. Either rings your
Echo good thing the next device I have is an Amazon Echo 4th generation. So it's got the Zigbee hub in it. That was $100. Right now it's $100, and I'm just going at retail, but those suckers go on sale like no one's biz.
Right.
So by the time this recording comes out, the deals will be here. Prime Day is just around the corner. So I used to give away that doorbell as like a closing gift to people, and then I realized that they needed to use a chime. And I'm a type of guy that wants to use the existing wiring of the home and the existing chime. So
agreed.
I'm really doorbell that doesn't. Why I wouldn't be able to use the chime on the if you're hooking it up? I suppose that's what the battery's for on the higher models, where it basically activates the chime using the battery. Okay.
Yeah. So I have the Cara one that I've been testing. And that's my biggest complaint. Like, I want to use my existing chime. Same with Reolink. They make one, and I love Reolink. I've got all their stuff. I would totally use that doorbell right now, but like, it doesn't use our existing chime, and I want to have a plug-in chime. And so for that reason, I'm out.
Well, and that's why I was looking at them. That's why I'm looking at. I don't like the battery ones because that's such a waste of energy and of your life. Charging those things.
Agreed.
So
if people tend to do that too, they'll see it on sale, or they'll see the Blink one and it's just hot garbage. Like, well, I got it on sale. It was cheap. Like, got what you paid for.
Yeah. Stay away from battery operated cameras without any type of backup of like solar or something. Um, so I said the Amazon Echo fourth generation. The next thing I actually, and this one was like kind of interchangeable based on kind of what you want to do with it. But like I have the MyQ for the garage door opener, but there's a couple of different options you can do. So that it's like Miras has one out there. You can do like I don't know, like a custom switch I use through Zeus or whatever. There's lots of different options out there, but that's like 25 bucks. I feel like it's really important to have an automatic garage door opener.
Agreed.
I agree. And most builders are including that now. Well, most garage door openers now have my.
I was gonna say it's already built
your house
into
is
it.
built.
If it's a Chamberlain or even a Craftsman, or they usually
I
are
think
built
they're actually
into
like owned by the same brand, parent company or something.
Yeah,
they are. They're exactly the same.
Interesting. Is one like the builder grade and the other is like the retail version or something?
I'm not exactly sure. I think it's just it's like having multiple brands to capture as much of the market as possible. Like, you're like, I hate Chamberlain, but I'll go ahead and buy a Craftsman, even though they manufacture the same. So it does not matter. There's only like two. Believe it or not, there's actually only. I think there's only two. Look it up, but there's only two manufacturers, big ones out there, and they own all the other smaller brands.
That's used to be true for locks as well.
Yes.
ABVA, something, whatever company owns all these sub brands. But now there's new entrants into the space where there's a little bit more diversity in options. But of the big brands, many of them are actually owned, like Yale and August and a few others, same company.
Yep.
And the next one is the Amazon Smart Thermostat.
I thought you would have ran out of money by now.
No, I have not ran out of money yet.
He's a smart shopper.
Amazon Smart Thermostat for $80.
Nice.
That way you can set up automations with your. It's not probably the best thermostat out there, obviously, but it'll get the job done. And you're able to connect it through the Amazon Echo and do automations with it. And then I have two more items. They have these Casa smart switches, the Wi-Fi ones, that they are 3-packs.
Yep.
The 3-pack for $35. Like, you know what? If you're only gonna spend $500, you can't go wrong. And I've had these. I've used them. They're all right. If you don't overload your network with a bunch of them, you're all right.
Yep.
They sell like crazy though. I would not go on Amazon. You can
it literally says #1 bestseller in electrical light switches right on Amazon. So I bought 3 of those. So I technically have 9 switches that I can set up. But again, depending on what you need in your house, these are single poles. Yeah, there's a different version for 3-ways or things like that. But I feel like 9 switches can get somebody a good portion of their house, or the ones that matter. And then my last thing.
Neutral wire though.
So. They do. Yes, they do. And then, by the way, if you're not, I don't have neutral wires in every single switch in my house, but my electrician was able to create a neutral wire. You can do that by just using the wires inside the box. I don't know. He did some electrical magic. So it is possible. Just so you know, it is.
Your house might be burned to the ground by the time you get home, but I just trust that guy with his magic neutral wires.
He is certified electrician.
It's true. I've heard of this technique before.
They're just like crossing over, making an extra. They're like making extra pigtail on the wire, and then they do it. And then my last item is the 4-pack of the Casa smart plug outlets. So,
okay,
well, you got
one of those, and that's pretty close to $500. It's like $480 or $485. So you got a little bit of wiggle room if you need to.
I'll first say that's a lot. You got a lot of stuff actually. For $500, I'm impressed with that.
Good. I think you hit a lot of really good categories too.
And then if you're just starting out, like you can. You have the Echo Hub, and you can go into the Amazon app and create some simple automations with most of that stuff. And so, I feel like if that's the only $500 you're going to spend, you're not going to overload your Wi-Fi network, with having, 15 devices, 16 smart home devices on it. And you're all right.
If you look for package deals coming up on Prime Day, I mean, you could probably get this for like $300. So
Yeah,
So right now the cost of smart switches they're normally $45, but they're $35 right now, so 22% off. And then the smart plugs are $25, normally 30. So I've used them
other
too.
than the switches. Oh no, those switches, yeah, they go on sale. The Zeus ones you mentioned, I don't see go on sale quite as often, but
I mean, they're on sale right
everything
now.
in your well,
Not on Amazon. Not on Amazon during
I
their.
was gonna say not on Amazon.
Okay.
You got to go to their website for any of the deals that they're running.
Fair enough. Well,
The reason, so they're more expensive. If you really look at it, they're more like Zeus products are more expensive on Amazon because they're not charging for shipping. So versus if you go straight to the website, they will charge for shipping unless it's over, I think like
I think
couple
$59
$100 or something.
Well, right now it's
Is it
$59. That's during their
Okay.
sale. That might only be during their sale. I don't know. I'll have to confirm that. But right now it's $59 during their sale. So for free
good
shipping.
choice with the Zeus. I think very expandable too. Even your this ends at $500. That's your budget. I still think you can build off of that a little bit further into different categories without having too much limitation. My only concern would be the switches. But again, if you're this isn't like you're doing your whole house, you're not a big enthusiast like us, you probably could get fine by just fine. I personally don't like the feel of the Casa switch.
I actually like the feel. I love that little just like a tap button. I like it. I think that's cool.
I do find myself at showings occasionally clicking it like a mouse.
So yeah,
I see them in a lot of houses. Trust me, it's a popular switch.
So I stayed away from, like kind of, I feel like smart bulbs are very, like when you're starting out, those are like the number one thing to stay away from. Like, just stick to like kind of the basic stuff to build out, unless you're really, really wanting some colored light bulbs or things like that. But accent lighting is okay. But I stayed away from that for the most part and some other stuff. But
you did really well.
Yeah.
And so my smart home for $500 is actually fairly similar. So I started with like, what is the definition of smart home? And I went with what CNET describes that when they collaborated on this real estate project, and something I've used in my presentation. And so you need to have 3 devices and they need to be fixtures, not personal property. So for me, I think it all starts at our front door, and there's a lot of great smart locks out there. I've tested, I think 31.
Wow.
I've got another one sitting here that I can't talk about quite yet, but you'll see it soon enough when the embargo lifts. So I also went with the Eufy lock, the 2100. That's one of the best selling locks on Amazon. It's a great lock. It's Wi-Fi based. They used to have a bridge that came with it. Now it's bridgeless. So it's great quality. The touchscreen works really well. You can pay more. You can get a doorbell built in. You can get fingerprint and stuff. I don't think you need any of that. I think just at base level, having a code that you can change and you can check on it remotely. You can unlock it if you had to. There's good peace of mind there, and I think that's a worthwhile investment. Something that every household should have, because there's no worse feeling than being away and like, did I remember to lock the door? Same with the garage door, but I didn't include a garage door because I have kind of on the assumption it's built in. But I do have $30 left over in my budget, so maybe at the end I'll throw in that
SwitchBot button presser.
No SwitchBot. There was no SwitchBot in my. The aesthetic is very important to me, and unfortunately, SwitchBot doesn't.
It's a garage. Who cares?
Well, their entire product line. To each their own. So I almost went with a Ring doorbell as well, but then I remembered the subscription costs, and I said to myself, Eufy, again, they have the doorbell, the S330. So that one actually has the package detection, the dual motion and all that. It does the recognizes people. So like face, it's pretty accurate. Gives you a little like image that shows up on your phone in the notification. So I like that one. No subscription, records locally. You could add the hub. You can build off of it. You can add other cameras.
And how much
so
is that?
One was another one that was good.
How much is the doorbell?
I could be convinced that Ring is an acceptable option too.
$90.
$90?
Oh yeah, so 90, 99.99 for the lock, and then that doorbell right now, not on sale, is 130. But I guarantee you, it's going to be on sale in about
a week. It's on sale right
here.
now for $89.
Yeah, and with the Eufy, there's so many versions of it. So I would recommend, one, look for the package that has the things that you want, because sometimes they'll package them up and magically the price is less. And then look on their website directly. I just went on Amazon for this exercise, but like oftentimes Eufy will also have a sale and it's better on their site. So the shipping thing applies there too. Depends on how much you're ordering. That's our front door. We got security. We can see who's there. Good peace of mind.
So how much was the lock again? Sorry, what did you say? How much the lock?
$100.
$100. Okay.
Yeah. So we're at 230 if anyone was adding this up. And the next thing I went with was the thermostat, because this will pay for itself. So with energy savings around not running air conditioning in the summer or furnace in the winter, depending on your climate, I suppose. I'm the type of guy that likes to have my house set at 72. I value my comfort more than anything. And homes right now are like newer homes are very efficient. And so if you just get to the temperature you want to be, it's fairly easy to stay there. But when I'm away, there's no reason for it to be running. And so originally I actually went with the Amazon thermostat because of the price point, but I actually upgraded and I changed my list around a little bit. And I said, I'm going to go with the Ecobee Lite. It doesn't come with the added sensor, which I do like, but you could add those later. It doesn't have, actually, this one works with Siri, Alexa, and the Google Assistant, but I don't think it has a voice built in, which is actually better because it's annoying when it replies from your thermostat and not from the thing you intended on talking to. And I'm not listening to music from my thermostat, so I don't need that. But that works with most modern homes, so your HVAC systems, your furnace, and your air conditioning. And the thing I love about Ecobee the most is that it's got the presence sensing, so you can use the geofence. So my wife and I have the app on our phone, and then when both of us are gone, the automation can kick in. And then you can also do like the time of day, and then you can bark orders at your voice assistant of choice. It works with all of them, and then do all of that fun stuff. So Ecobee, I keep going back to it. I've given away a lot of thermostats as gifts. I've tested a bunch. I swapped out. I was team Google for a while. I even looked at doing a whole smart home of Google, because you could get pretty darn close for $500, like their lock, doorbell, and thermostat, and I'm like one of their voice assistants. But I don't like it as much. So everything that I picked is very much brand agnostic up until this last selection. I went with the Echo Show. Originally I had the 8, but then when I switched over to this thermostat, I ran out of money, so I switched to the Show 5. But, next week, everything on this list will be on sale. Right. So get the Show 8 if you can, otherwise Show 5. And the idea here is that this is a very expandable smart home. I didn't think I could accomplish my goals in lighting and be happy with this setup. So I excluded lighting, robot vacuums. I mean, that would have ate half the budget. So that was out. There's a few other categories where I thought that, you could add those later, but these are things that I think add value to the home. They add peace of mind. They add comfort, a little bit of entertainment in there. These enhance the value of the property. So like when you go to sell, people will be like, oh, cool. It's got a smart lock, smart doorbell, thermostat.
Yeah.
And then the remote viewing I thought was very important to me. So it is. That's what I would do.
Is there a reason? Is there a reason that you went with the shows instead of just the regular Echo Hub?
Yeah, so you can pull up the see who's at the doorbell automatically.
All right.
You could throw in like a Fire TV or something and be able to do that too. Cool thing with the Eufy is it works with all of them. Whereas if you were trying to go from Ring, you couldn't pull it up on the Google. And if you had a Google doorbell, there are workarounds, but mostly it does not come up on the Show devices. So yeah. And now with the shows and all the ads, I'm lessening my recommendation there. The new Echo Hub might be good with just the stand, but it would have been outside the budget. And so I have a love-hate relationship with the Echo shows.
Like we all do.
Yeah. So
anybody that has them.
I mean, you went high impact, minimal number of items in your list. I think you hit the big ones, and I think you could be very happy with that as long as you don't mind flipping your own lights on and off and things like that, which is
and some people don't like the lighting doesn't do it for some people. For me, it's like personally number one, but my budget's more than $500. But I understand that our viewers, listeners aren't always don't have as big of budgets, and if I had to prioritize things, this is what I would do. And even from like a home marketing standpoint, like if I'm a builder and I want to say my home is smart, these are the devices I would add. Throw in the MyQ. There you go.
For sure.
Then I can call it a smart home and get more money, honestly.
Yeah. And please, viewers, if you make your own list and put them down in the comments below. We'd really love to hear your thoughts on what you would do for $500. It was a lot of fun to do this little exercise.
And we might have to
do it harder than I thought.
Yeah.
We can revisit our list next week when we're doing the live, because it's going to be during Prime Day, and see what the actual prices of the list are now.
Yeah, for sure. So all right,
tune in next week, or if you're watching it after that or listening after the fact, well, then go rewatch that one.
Exactly. All right, so I've got my list. I've got some things definitely similar to you guys here. Let me pull it up over here. So
that's the benefit of going really get the
I know.
good ideas
Okay,
first.
there's one item that I'm actually surprised we all went with the same thing with this, but
is it the lock?
It's the lock, the Eufy C10 lock. I mean,
it's
you
hard
got
to beat.
Yeah, I was
Like
looking at
from that is like $200, right? So like it's kind of a no-brainer, and it's good quality.
Yeah, I personally have not used it, but I've seen reviews, from channels and stuff on it, and it seems like a really good lock. So for $100, that seemed like the best option.
Easy to install, reliable.
Well, since Brandon's tested 40 of them,
but he could probably pick every lock and every smart lock out there. So
yeah, that's not for me. The lock, that's like I forget to lock the door at night. I just forget. I don't want to have to remember that, and so you got to have a lock. And so that was the thing I shared with all you guys. And then last week in the live, we were talking about hubs, and I said that I didn't pick a hub for my $500 home. I changed. I picked a hub for the $500 home. I last second swap out.
Let's talk about Pete and his lies.
I was feeling.
He felt challenged after the last.
I did
live.
I felt like I didn't want to have all crap Wi-Fi
we
devices.
redefined what a hub is and the importance of a hub.
We did. So I went with the Aqara M2 hub for $60. Right,
Whoa.
So I can get some, because you can do a lot with Aqara. Aqara has a very good.
Went with an Aqara hub, but you didn't do the Aqara lock to go with it.
The Aqara lock's $150. It's $150. I had it. Yes, I had it in there, but then I'm like, I don't need. Okay, the lock I don't need to automate with anything else really. I mean, I do, but like the main thing is it just needs to be able to automate to lock itself at night. That's the thing that I need. And if I can do it with the presence sensor to lock, also do that. I don't know if the Eufy does that, but I do know you can schedule it to lock at night, and that's the key element with that. But so I did get the Aqara M2 hub, and I wound up getting, as far as Aqara devices go, I got 4 door and window sensors. Those are going to go the front door, the pantry door, the back door, and the garage door, because I assumed I didn't have a smart garage door like I have now. And so I want to be notified if the garage is left open at a certain point. I had the relay in there to shut the garage door, but I wound up just leaving the contact sensor in, and it'll tell me to go down and shut the garage door instead of it doing it itself, which is annoying, but I only had $500. So it is what it is. Right. So I got the 4.
You're really
partially automated.
Right. Huh?
Vince prioritized lighting, and you're more of a security guy.
I prioritize things that I forget to do myself or don't want to do myself to save me from me. That's what I wanted to do. So I got the contact sensors let me know if doors are open and things like that. I got 3 leak detectors, Aqara leak detectors. So those can go in the dishwasher, under the washing machine, and down in the basement utility area, right? Got to be notified if we're having a leak, right?
Sump pump.
So honestly, my soil is
So
still
sump pumps like.
I don't have a sump pump.
Oh, okay.
We have a sump pit. Our soil is so sandy that I've gone down there in the biggest rains, and we've had a ton of, like, the pit never fills up more than like a few inches, right? The water just go like it could rain 3 inches in the morning, and I can mow my lawn in the afternoon. That's how sandy our soil is. When I built my deck
we're on clay.
Your house is sinking as we talk.
It probably is. It used to be a 3-story house. It's now a 2-story house. But it was great. I built my own deck, and when I dug the holes for the posts, like, they would just collapse in on themselves, and like, because it was just so sandy.
How deep did you end up going?
Pretty darn deep. It's holding up. It's doing fine. We're all right. But yeah, we kept.
He's like, I had passed my inspection.
Exactly.
My deck inspection.
I did pass the inspection. So, all right. So, anyways, we got 3 leak detectors. I got 3 P1 motion sensors. These are the older version, not the current P2 motion sensors. Those are going to go in.
With Tree Life. Look at this bad boy.
What's that?
Still haven't tested it out yet, but they make a smart present life.
I've got one of those too. It's a different company, but it's the same exact thing. But I got the Aqara P1 motion sensor. Those are going to go in the bathrooms.
Probably all white labeled from the same manufacturer.
Oh, they are. Absolutely, they are.
Products.
So I got motion sensor, and then the Aqara leaked. So those are my Aqara devices. All right. And then I wound up getting the same Casa light switches that are not particularly reliable, but like Vince said, they're super cheap. They're super cheap. I even listed them at the regular price at $15 a piece, basically. So I got 5 of those. Those are going to go in the bathrooms, not my bathroom, because I don't want it turning off when I'm in the shower. But the kids' bathroom downstairs, they never remember to turn the lights off, so you got to put them there. And I've got a switch for the pantry door, or the pantry light, and a switch for the outdoor lights, so I can, because I never remember
to hide all these sensors too. If you
What's
guys haven't seen that video, check it out.
That's right. Hide the contact sensors in the door. Check out my video on that. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, so we're gonna definitely turn the lights on and off, exterior lights, and then so that's it for my so the Casa. I got the Eufy switch. And then the last couple things are just for my kids. They've got LED strips in their room, and they love them. I can't not give my kids the LED strips in their rooms. I found cheap ones. There's Govee ones for $20, and then my son doesn't have a phone. One of my sons doesn't have a phone to control it, so he needs to get an Echo Pop in his room to control his LED strip lights. And then the nice thing about that is that I can actually turn those off, because they never remember to turn them off. I can turn them off with an app or automate them to turn on and off. So I sacrificed $80 of my budget for my kids. So lucky you, kids. I love you. And that's.
And also, your family is worth $100 to you.
Right,
I love
exactly.
That from your recent Aqara video.
My lock. Yeah. So
guys, if you haven't watched Pete's other videos, he injects comedy into the simple things, and it's incredible. Even my wife was laughing.
I aim to please. But yeah,
and
so I did not.
How to please a woman with your smart home.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I did not get a smart thermostat. For me, I'm home a lot. Somebody's home a lot. It just seemed like it was.
You're a cheap ass,
and you have children.
It's always set super high.
Yes, I am a cheap ass. That is correct. Yeah, so we set it pretty high.
When I toured your house, I was sure to point that out. Like, look at this guy over here.
Yes, you did.
Not even running the AC in the middle of the summer.
That was a nice day. Okay, the day you came over was nice. All right, it was like 68 degrees in there. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful day.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, save the world, people. It's dying. The planet is dying, and we need to help.
For my comfort.
or make sure Brandon's comfortable. That's also important too. So
it's not so much me,
you just
my wife.
Yeah, give Brandon a presence
next
sensor. Then when he's
happy.
driving over, it just automatically turns on. So
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
he's not worth that.
Just for Brandon.
He's got a AirTag on me already. I just didn't realize it.
Yep.
God,
So
he's on his way.
anyways, I was pretty pleased with what I was. What's that?
The sensor alerts you to hide the booze.
From Brandon, yeah, absolutely.
Hide the good stuff.
Absolutely. At least put a contact sensor on the
Cabinet
door,
lock.
on the cabinet. Yeah, so that you can know when people
Vince has got all the cabinet locks. So it's
Yeah, I got all the cabinet locks.
So yeah, they actually
certain cabinets unlock. They're like, here's the Phillips.
Right, here's the Brandon
Those will
cabinet.
be good when you're.
Here's the Brandon
when
cabinet.
your kids come of age.
Yes, for sure. Well,
for kids, I think that's great.
My kids are 14 and 12, so they already are of age in some.
He's getting close.
In some rural areas.
Yeah, right. Be careful there.
Hopefully.
So I think your smart home would be very popular with the Apple users because a lot of them are very.
I agree.
Big on Akara.
HomeKit.
Yep.
Our friend George in Omaha is a big Akara guy too, so I think he would like it. But he would put way more Sonos and way more Apple everything.
Yeah,
maybe some Nike shirts.
So I said I just like music. I got one Sonos speaker for my $500. That's my home.
Nice.
Not so much.
As long as you use HomeKit on your phone, you're good to go. Just that's a quick, easy ad.
Yeah. So you do need HomePod though, right? To get HomeKit, Apple Home
or Apple TV
or Apple TV. Yeah.
HomePod Mini or an Apple TV.
Right, and not the.
So if we had.
Good.
If we had Paul Hibbert on the channel, he would have everything would be Tuya, Bond, just these obscure brands, and like duct taped together in the most convoluted way.
Hey, make it work.
Our homies would be like, well, I did it. Like they got like the whole house for under $500, but they spent 12 hours programming it. And then we got the Apple Pros. They would just be like all Akara and all like Apple devices.
I'm surprised none of us cheated and went through just buy everything from AliExpress or something.
I got 45
here's
switches.
150 devices
right.
for $500 of home stuff. Maybe we should do that one too next down the road. What would you buy if you only from AliExpress?
All right, we should.
But so nobody picked Wise. Nobody picked. What's that one that goes in your wall? Shelly.
Shelly.
Yeah,
I looked at Shelly.
There's so many
I looked at Shelly.
Affordable options, and I thought it was interesting that none of us picked them.
Yeah,
Shelly's just Wi-Fi though too, so I don't know.
I know. I had all Wi-Fi devices. Like I said, that before I changed. I'm like, I'm gonna get the Akara. I'm switching to the Akara because I wanted leak detectors that worked, and I wanted the sensors to work, and hopefully the switches work sometimes.
You notice how none of us pick smart bulbs. I mean, you had light strips, which is okay. It's accent lighting, right? But nobody picks smart bulbs, which, believe it or not, I feel like is the most common thing for first time smart home buyers to buy.
Well, they've got the Amazon device, the gateway drug, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we got that. They get hooked, and they start seeing like, oh, I could do this and that.
So I wanted
cheap.
I wanted lights. I wanted to get bulbs for my exterior. I wanted getting a switch for my exterior lights. I wanted to get bulbs for that, but I realized I didn't have the right hub to be able to program the way I wanted to. And I'm never going to remember to put 4th of July, my lights went on yesterday. Red, white, and blue. I didn't have to do a thing, right? I pre-programmed all the holidays for the year, so they just go red, white, and blue 4th of July. But I didn't have a hub or system to do that automatically. And I'm not going to remember to do colors on my own. So just keep the white bulbs for now and get a switch.
I think bulbs are important, but they're not important, but like they're just a little farther down the road, in your smart home journey. I feel like
it'll be fun to see as our budgets increase, what we start to prioritize. So I already built out my 1,000 and my 2,000, and I promise you guys I'm not going to change it based on what we've said today or what we talk about next week, because I think it's more fun to just, the thought exercise has been completed, and I'm going to stick with it and try to justify it, even though you guys brought up some very good points today.
we should also add an unlimited budget for our last one.
Well, I think at the end, I think we just talk about, we can do an episode on, what did we actually use in our home? And I know how much some of us have spent, but we can justify like, okay, why did I pick this product over another? Or, am I just using it because
most of it's because I was dumb.
Yeah. Or what mistakes did I make? I think that could be fun. And then, if we had Dream, well, with the Dream smart home, we could probably need to caveat it that it has to be DIY. Otherwise,
right? Yeah, DIY.
I'm gonna go all restaurant and
DIY and in your DIY in your house.
When I made this,
go ahead.
Yeah. When I made this list, I added up all of my. I went back through and redid everything and added up everything in my house. And
when I toured your house, I added up everything in your house.
See, here's the problem.
So I built off of that last list that you made, and I because it wasn't 100% correct, so I went back and redid it. And man, let me tell you,
it's staggering. Don't tell your significant other.
Right. That's what if she watches this for some reason? Then that'd be a problem. I don't want to put out how much.
I haven't said any numbers.
Anna, I know the number. Contact me.
Here's the problem, though, is you got stuff that is like doubles as smart home, but normal stuff. So my Samsung Hub refrigerator was $2,200 or $2,600, but it's a refrigerator. So
for that, I kind of eliminated those things. I excluded things like for my office and the studio setup and our theater. Like, I think that's kind of beyond that. But like, if you wanted to, you could say, okay, here's what a normal fridge costs, and here's the one that I got, and use the delta, and that's kind of.
Or like ceiling fans, smart ceiling fans, or motor blinds, or blinds are still expensive regardless of like whether they are smart or not. But those added up real quick.
Agreed. We got a lot of great
TVs too.
Here.
TVs,
and if you haven't subscribed already, be sure to do so, and let us know if you prefer the podcast format with the edited graphics that Pete did such a great job on, or if you prefer our Tuesday night lives where we get a little bit more interaction. We're going to continue to do both and see which one wins out. But it's been a great thought experiment, and I really enjoyed discussing this with you guys today.
Absolutely. And let us know who you think has the best. Which house would you want of the three of our houses?
Yeah, that's true.
Let us know which one you
make a poll.
You would choose. I'll put a poll up absolutely after this episode goes out. So so that was a lot of fun. We'll be doing more of these.
Give it like a week or something, then do the poll.
Yes.
That way
so people actually watch it. How about I put the poll up before the episode airs? Would that be a good smart?
We'll see how it compares to our draft winner.
I know it'll be. Yeah, you pump up the numbers with your own.
I did not. I was surprised that it shifted a lot towards the end. I thought Pete was going to be dead last.
I also thought that as well.
People love the Yarbo, man. I don't know what you're talking.
It's your channel.
It's the Yarbo. Listen, I wanted it to go for $500. I'm like, could I just like get 10 of my neighbors and go in on a Yarbo to mow all of our? Then that's my smart home right there.
I would say your $500 list was better than your draft pick list.
Yes,
my draft picks were awesome.
He had a couple of good picks in the draft early on.
It was like hot garbage.
I didn't,
and then it went downhill real fast. I was the last to pick, so I was in a tough spot, but I made it work.
I didn't research.
If you guys haven't watched that episode, go check it out. It's click into live.
It was a good one.
And it's the smart home draft. Eric was the guest. We had a lot of fun. We're gonna have to bring him back.
All right, before we go today, I want to do one quick, fun little segment to end the show. We're calling this Fast Five. So I'm going to ask you each 5 quick questions, quick hit answers.
And we don't know the questions.
You don't know the questions. I don't even know the questions. I'm making them up as we go.
Really putting us on the spot here.
Oh yeah. All right. Fast. Are you guys ready for Fast 5?
All right, I'm ready.
We're ready for Fast 5. All right. Brandon, you go first, then Vince, and then I'll answer. All right. First question. Smart switches or smart bulbs?
Switches.
Brandon.
Switches.
Absolutely switches. For me. Okay. 2, best summer barbecue food.
You want some justification?
No, I don't. We all know why.
Answer?
Just the answer.
All right,
whatever.
Good. Fair enough.
Best summer barbecue food.
Ribs.
I don't really barbecue a lot. Let's steak.
Steak.
It's really barbecue brisket, I guess.
A good burger for me.
He's like filet mignon.
Weber's never gonna send you a grill if you say I don't like barbecue food. I love Weber. I love barbecue food. I'll eat any. It's amazing.
That's so true.
So good. So good.
Yeah,
All right.
when they want. Remind them.
All right. Question number 3. Who would win in a fight? Reed from Smart Home Solver or Paul Hibbert?
Paul. Reed's too nice.
Reed is nice.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think Paul. I agree with Paul. I think Reed's bigger, bigger person. But I think Paul is going to be scrappy, and
Paul would just go for the neck, and he's like, seems like he'd be a little rough.
It's like dirty
around the edges.
Okay.
Feel like a little dirty, yeah.
No, I've emailed Paul. Paul's.
He would take Mr. Sacco and put it in Reed's mouth, and then it would be over.
Paul's
I changed my answer. Mr. Saki wins the fight.
Yeah, Paul's an awesome. I met both of them. They're both awesome, nice guys. I just think it'd be fun. But I think Paul's gonna win that battle. So, all right. Name something in your home that is not automated that you wish was.
My sliding glass door. There is a lock. I wish I could automate that.
I'd say that a sliding glass door lock or the window crank things that's really bugging me right now.
So yeah, Brandon. Actually, I was saying the same thing. The sliding glass door lock. That's what I'm going with as well.
I think that should be our
harebrained
DIY
idea
project
that may or may not actually work to fix it. That could be a fun video.
Could be a solution. Maybe someone could think something. Yeah. All right, last question there, Fast Five. Would you rather live in a world where each day lasted a minute, or where each day lasted a whole year?
We still live the same.
Yes,
amount
you
of time?
still live the same amount of time. But basically, what I'm saying is there's a sunset and sunrise every minute, or there's only one sunset or sunrise in an entire 365 days that we live.
Obviously, I'm going to pick the year. Although it would get really dark and depressing.
Right, you're gonna have
it would be
4
like
months.
Minnesota, but worse.
I think I would pick 1 minute.
You pick a minute.
Everything would die though. If we didn't have.
You would just live to be 1,000 years old. I don't know.
We just have to have.
If we went 1 year as a day, everything would die in that period of time.
Okay, well, let's assume that nature figures this out. Nature's figured out a way to survive. So you're in darkness for 4 months.
Wise, I would like the celebration of a year because it would be more meaningful. It'd be annoying if it was every minute. Just, woo, 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 woo. Plus, that'd be really hard on your eyes. Think about it. Like, the sun's down, the sun's up, the sun's down, the sun's up.
Well, it'd be hard to play sports, You'd have to have lights on all the time because, every minute it's getting dark.
I'm an indoor cat, so I guess it's not as bad.
Yeah. Or whatever. I'd go with the year, but it would be pretty depressing to have to live in...
It'd be like Alaska. There's
Right. It's Antarctica and
next month.
North Pole. That's what it is. They have a year lasts a whole day. So, yeah.
Also, I'd like to point out that Vincent is on location and North is cleaning his broken car.
I couldn't.
Your wave off didn't work.
I was like, go away. Didn't work.
Did you put the thing?
First world
there
problem.
for a long time. You probably actually want the cleaning.
True.
Yes.
Are you
wearing
wearing
those guys
every day?
If I'm not there for a long time, I'm just like, no service. I'll get my own towels if I need them.
So, are you wearing pants, Vince?
Yeah, I'm wearing.
Okay,
pants.
good. We can't tell from the camera angle. Feel a little weird.
I do a lot of Zoom calls and stuff for trainings, and I always have a nice top on. Lately, it's been more just a polo, but sometimes I'll button up with a suit. And my joke is always just I have shorts on, and then if someone calls me out on it, I'll stand up and be like, I actually do have shorts because it's fun. But I'm just a goofy guy sometimes. But otherwise, day to day, it's so much work polo. And slacks. This is my uniform. I'm like Steve Jobs. I don't want to make a lot of decisions. Just here you go, off the rack.
Yep.
Thing.
Beauty.
Design is not my company.
Not at home, so I don't have any smart home stuff. So that's my smart home for while I'm here.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I take
that. Housekeeper.
All right. Well, with that, I think we're gonna wrap up the show here, guys. So this is a lot of fun. Thanks for watching our first podcast version of our show here. We'll go back to live streams next week, but we'll be hopefully alternating, figuring out what the right version is. So again, thank you for watching. Vince, Brandon, thanks for joining us today, and we will see you all next time.